I remember with Finley, I got home and he was in the little car seat and we put him in the living room and I burst into tears and I started raging. How could they have sent me home? What is the matter with these people? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. How could they possibly send me home with a newborn baby and expect me to know how to look after it? Finley's dad just went, I think you should go to bed. I think you need a sleep. And I was like, I can't sleep now. I've got a baby. He was like, go to sleep. And when I woke up, I did feel a lot calmer.
Yeah.
But I rang my cousin Heather up in Scotland, and because she'd had babies. And I said, Heather, I'm at a loss. I don't know what to do. None of this makes any sense to me. And she's brilliant. I mean, she's a friend anyway, but she's my cousin. And she just kind of talked me through it. She was like, right, don't stress about anything. You will know what to do. You will know how to do the things. And if you can't feed, because he wouldn't feed properly, go and get formula. Don't beat yourself up and start thinking, oh, I need to do this thing. Do whatever you want. And whatever you feel is going to get you through, do that. Yeah. Which was the best advice.
Feeding causes such worry, anxiety, so much. And I think it's so important to have those people to give you that support, whether it is someone saying that. Happy Mum, Happy Baby actually comes from Emma Willis saying that to me when Buzz was 6 weeks old, because he was my first and I was trying to feed him and I got it in my head that I needed to feed. That was what I should be doing. And she just said to me, gee, Happy Mum, Happy Baby, you know, if you are in a bad position, if you're constantly putting this pressure on yourself, you know, that's feeding through and you're never going to be able to just enjoy being a mum and settle.
And she's right. She's
totally
so right.
But it just took the pressure off. You know, it allowed me, so I did stay breastfeeding, but it allowed me to kind of go, where is this pressure coming from? Why am I allowing this to be placed on me? And actually, if there are other options, realise there are other options and don't feel so stuck in whatever you've got set up.
I was very lucky in that I never put that pressure on myself.
Really?
I don't know why I didn't. I just didn't. Maybe because my mum had bottle fed me, because I was so premature. I'd been pumped with as much as anything they could get into me, sort of thing. So my mum had always had a very relaxed attitude to whatever it takes is what you do. You know, don't feel forced into anything. I tried. It didn't work for me. Only one boob worked, and it ended up looking like jam. It just was not good. And so, again, without labeling it what you called it, Happy Mum, Happy Baby, I thought he is very stressed. He's had a traumatic birth anyway. He had colic. And I'm now putting this other pressure on where I'm trying to ram this boob into his mouth and he's not latching on properly and all this stuff. And I just went, I call time on this. Really quickly, it was in about a week. I just went, no, we're not doing this. And I was so relieved.
Really?
So relieved. Because actually he took to it right away. It meant I could just focus on, trying to get him well, because I just felt that he had such a bumpy start to life. And it made a big difference. And then so I went into it with that with Amy. Amy, I think I lasted a whole 2 weeks with Amy. And then I was like, nope, same thing, one boob, it's gone to jam. And any mums will know what that means. I'm just going on to formula. And I'm okay with that. Yeah. And I'm the only one who needs to be okay with it.
Yes.
And I don't really care what anybody else thinks, because I'm the one living my life at home with this child.
I always think Joan down the road, which I always say Joan, and Joan is actually my nan-in-law. So my nan-in-law is an amazing person, but I always use Joan for some reason. But Joan down the road can, she can say what she wants, she can think what she thinks, but she's not there at 3 o'clock in the morning.
No.
When your baby is crying, and your baby is so connected to every bit of your being. Yeah. That the impact that it has on your body and how you feed that into your baby, it's just like, to be able to remove that pressure.
I did it by the book because my parents were living overseas. I didn't have that unit to, so I tried to get it from a book. And I regret so many of the decisions that I made then. And I feel...
Is that with Finley?
Yeah. And I don't feel mum guilt about working. Yeah. I don't feel mum guilt about many things. But with that, I do. Mainly because from day one, he didn't sleep in the same room with us. He was down the hall, and my heart breaks for that poor baby crying. And I was leaving him to cry it out, and you think...
But that was what was happening 22 years
told.
ago. That's absolutely what people, you know, and I think it's really hard, isn't it, to judge yourself by what people are doing now.
100%.
Because that's, you know, I can remember a neighbour of mine saying, oh yeah, we just put her in a bedroom and locked the door. What? So what? And she was like, yeah, then she stopped crying eventually. It's like, ow. Whereas now, you know, just...
I mean, Amy was in the room next to me 6 months, 9 months, I can't remember. And actually, we were all so chilled about it because she was happy because I was right there.
Yeah.
And because I could just put my hand out and know that she was fine, or if she made a little snuffle, before she'd built even up to the point of crying, you know, mums tune in, you know the snuffle of feeding wet, whatever. I was up and out and in the living room, so no one else got woken up. And then actually you were never in this panic. It all happened so much more smoothly. And
but
then
also
back to
first
bed.
time around, because of reading the books, there's the right, wrong. You know what I mean? You've got a right way of doing stuff, so you better be on it because there's a right way of doing it.
All of it. Like clockwork as well. Everything was like clockwork. Whereas I didn't do the clockwork thing. I actually kind of let it be what it would be.
Yeah.
And she was a more content baby.
Yeah.
And so, if I could rewind my time, that is something I would definitely do differently.
Yeah. Let's talk about work, because with Amy you had to go back. Well, no, you didn't have to go back. You went back after 12 weeks.
I did with both of them.
Oh, really?
And I did have to go back because I've always been the breadwinner.
Yeah.
So there was no question of not doing it because, you know, working in telly and you take too long a time off, you know, the waters close over your head and then you've disappeared. Yeah, so I did. I went back after 12 weeks with both of them. It was tough, but it was even tougher with the second one.
Because you were also going into Loose Women then. Loose Women, that was the start of this whole new...
My first day back at GMTV, after 12 weeks, on the very first day I got a phone call saying, Loose Women have been in touch. Would you like to work on that show? And my first gut reaction was no. And it was my agent had rung me and I said, no, absolutely not. That's that program with the shouty ladies. I don't want to go on that show. And I'd been on it once as a guest and I'd been terrified. And she was like, no, they want you to be the anchor. And I thought, oh, I could do that. I could anchor. I couldn't be a panelist.
You're just controlling the shouty.
Because I'm a very balanced person.
You are,
I'm not you know, it's obviously a brilliant show, and I was there for 13 years.
Well, it's about to turn 25, so it's
exactly.
You know, it's done all right.
It's done all right, and it's clearly a winning formula. And I love that it has opinionated people who are really prepared to stick to their guns. But I'm not like that.
Yeah.
So once I knew I was going to do that, but yes, that was really hard. So I was getting up at sort of 3 a.m. to do breakfast telly. You know, doing the night feed about 10, then going to bed, getting up at 3. Doing the weather, literally going down in the lift, and by 8:30 was 8:45 was in the morning meeting for Loose, and then we'd do a live show, and then back in those days we would also then pre-record another show in the evening, so I wouldn't get home until about 8 o'clock, and then I'd have to get up and go and do GMTV again with a tiny baby and a 5-year-old, and we had just moved, so we had moved out to Surrey. I knew no one, literally no one. And Amy's dad was realizing that actually living in a house, in a place he doesn't know anyone either, with a 5-year-old and a brand new baby is very hard.
Well, yeah.
He came to that conclusion that it was very hard.